Today, we're going to be looking at an interesting topic, and that is cash flow incubator. Today's program is designed for a rising star in business, experienced person in business, and the average person who wants to cash flow and perhaps cash flow fast. Today's content, we will do a deep dive that will help you to understand smart, creative ways that you can take to position yourself to cash flow. So today with me in studio, I have a number of dynamic personalities. I have Peter Scott, and Peter Scott, he is the brain behind Legacy Chronicle Human Growth Initiative, and he focused a lot on human resource development. And I also have Paul Whitehouse, and he is instrumentally involved in helping businesses to access capital. He is a BFC, which we call a business finance consultant. My friends, I want to welcome both of you to today's conversation as we look at cash flow incubator. What I will do, I will start the conversation and then I will ask Paul to give us an insight into financial instruments. Because, of course, while Paul may be able to help you and your business to access capital, the access to capital is not automatic. So when you want to cash flow in terms of access to capital, you need to ensure that you are prepared to access the capital. And Paul will help us to understand what is preparedness. Peter also will talk to us about preparedness as he go deep into the importance of master plan. But just before I call on my two colleagues, I want to spend some time walking you through what preparedness looks like also. Today's program, again, I want to emphasize that it is for business leaders and it's for the average person that wants to know more about ways to cash flow. And of course, we are speaking to business owners mainly. So one of the smart things that you want to do when you want to cash flow, mainly on the content that we're going to be talking about, you want to ensure that you have a business. But before you have a business, you want to do a name search. Because the last thing that you want to do is to register a name only to recognize that someone else is using that name, and you can get into legal complications that you can avoid. So you want to do that name search, make sure that the name is available before you go register. So once you would have checked the name, you want to also register that name with the Secretary of State. All right, that's moving in the right direction, because as you set up yourself in business and you want to cash flow, you have to be prepared to pay tax. All right, and all of these things help to set your stage right. So as you register with the Secretary of State, you want to ensure as an American citizen that you're also getting your EIN at the same time. All right, an EIN for the business. That is the employer identification number. You also, as a foreign national, you would need to get your ITIN. Now, what is the ITIN? This is the individual taxpayer's number. So once you are registering a business, setting up that business to cash flow, you want to get some of these basic things done. Next thing you want to be certain that you're doing is you have a proper address, Now, it is advised that you should have a separate business address, separate from your home address. And the reason it is advised is because you want to separate your personal activities from your business activities. But of course, in cases where you don't know how, perhaps you can start where you're at. And as time progresses, I will talk to you about how you perhaps can have a virtual business address where all your mails can go and you can still set yourself up there to look presentable to financial institution. The next step, you want to ensure that you have your 411 business listing. Now, the 411 business listing is where who is who in business, they are present in the 411 listing. And you want to be there because one, you can find other businesses and other businesses can find you. And other people that need to use your service, they can find you. So all of these is some of the paths that you need to understand when you want to come and be a part of our cash flow incubator. Now, I'm going to quickly go through a couple other things. You need to have a business checking account because, of course, when Paul is going to fund you, these funds are not going to go to your personal savings account. All right? It's going to go to your business checking account. So you need to have a business checking account and a business savings account. It makes a whole lot of sense also. And all of this is preparation. It makes a whole lot of sense also if you have a website and you're visible in the social media. Because as investors, you're going to do your due diligence. And when you do that due diligence and you're able to see your business across social media and you're able to extract data, it is helping the investor to want to help you to achieve your financial objective. This can also help your consumers because your consumers, when they want to buy from you, they want to know that you have some history. They want to know that you know what you're doing, and they're going to go and pull your data. And having that social media present on your website is other things that you can do. It's part of what you need to do to prepare yourself to access capital. Now, there's more for me to add here, but I'm going to pause here for now. I give my colleagues some time to chime into this. And when I come back, I want to talk to you about some other important concepts. I will talk to you about how to create multiple streams of income. I will talk to you how to cash flow with no money down. And I will also talk with you about how to leverage credit cards. So I'm going to pause here for now, and I'm going to ask Paul to give us a walkthrough of one of your financial instruments and how can someone prepare themselves to access, because we know access is not automatic. They need to prepare themselves to access the funding. But once they prepare, we know that from their access to funding could be like 1, 2, 3. So can you walk us through that process, Paul?
Yes, definitely. Um, I'm Paul Whitehouse, Patriot Business Finance Consultants, and we offer several programs and different types of financial instruments for businesses: equipment leasing, real estate financing, factoring, purchase order financing. But what we'll talk about today is investment property. How do you prepare yourself to own investment properties? Well, education first, education, information, talk to people who've done it. But then let's talk about getting prepared to actually do it and obtain financing for that. Part of the preparedness is money down. That's the truth. In business, the only two financing products that are available with zero money down would be factoring and purchase order financing. And those are kind of for large manufacturers. But if we're talking about real estate financing, whether you've been at it for 10 years and you got, 30 houses or 40 houses, or whether you're brand new and you're going to buy your first duplex, single family, or apartment building, what is required from the lender is participation, equity. Because if you if you get something for nothing, it's easy to walk away from it if things go down, if things get difficult. And it's real estate, man. I mean, money down is required. There's no way around it. If you are Bill Gates and you're buying an apartment building, the bank wants 20% down. Maybe I shouldn't have said bank/lender. We represent lenders. We don't represent banks. So how much money down are we talking about? If you got I got one program from one particular lender, 740 and above credit score. 20% down. So I think it's 690 and but between 690 and 740, 30% down. Below 690, all the way down to 620, 35% down. What does that really look like? You're buying a $100,000 house, 35,000 down or 20,000 down. So being prepared is having the money down. What if you don't have it? How do you get prepared then? Prepare yourself by finding a partner who does. Get into a partnership. Don't wait until you save the money, because that's going to take a long time. Don't wait. Act now. Okay. What else would you have to be prepared? A good score. You know, obviously the best credit gets the lowest cost of money, and then it's a sliding scale down from there. Can you get financed with very difficult credit? Absolutely. We got you covered there. It's just going to be more expensive. How do you get out of that? Well, pay on it every month on time. 18 months, 24 months down the line, your credit score improves, refinance for a lower cost of money. But being prepared to get into the investment property game, you have to prepare yourself with education, information. You got to be prepared to put money down, and then you have to be prepared to work it and do it and be an expert at what you do. A lot of lenders want to say yes. If you're worried about difficult credit and not being able to get approved, please don't worry. Just contact us. Let us worry about it. And guess what? We're not even worried about it. Not everybody's going to get approved. Let's be real. But a lot of people can. So we're here to get it done for you. Paul@patriotbfc.com. Email me, global, and then direct message, email Gary, so we can all get an appointment and talk together. Back to you, Gary.
Yeah, thanks for that share, Paul. And of course, for the audience who may have interest and getting more information from Paul in terms of how to access capital, or myself, you can call the numbers on your screen, or you can also send us an email. I just want to emphasize what Paul would have said. When you're going to access capital, all right, and part of the mission of the Cash Flow Incubator is to ensure that you understand how to prepare yourself for success. There's some people that wants the success without being prepared for success. And the preparation always comes before the success. And when you take the time to properly prepare yourself, there is where you win. So today, of course, we spend a lot of time talking to you about preparation, and we will now go into some possibilities that you can benefit from as you prepare. Paul, I would love to also hear you talk later on about the BFC, because I do believe that can position persons to cash flow significantly. So we're going to come back to Paul. Now, I want to come to Peter a little bit. And Peter, I know you will talk to us a bit about, how the master plan can get persons to be prepared for the success that they're going after in their lives. So all to you, Peter. You're mute, Peter.
Yes, it's always a delight to be here and to communicate with our audience, and for individuals to recognize, first of all, that they were designed, every individual were designed and sent as a instrument to solve a problem. There is so much, the world is in the problem that is in today, and the way how we look at it is that there is so much problems in the world simply because a lot of individuals do not understand the problem that they were born to solve. And so what we empower individuals to understand that they have to recognize themselves as a solution. And several years ago, I heard from an individual that I respect their values and their view, the late Dr. Miles Monroe, and he said that we should not start a business just for the sake of making money or pursuing money. And as counterintuitive as that may sound, when I really begin to look at it, I realize that yes, indeed, what people are looking for, or why individuals will pass on money to you or me, it is because they have a problem that they need to solve. So the focus ought to be about solving a problem. And that is where planning comes into being, because every individual has to now look at themselves. And when you start with yourself, and we have what we call the personal life master plan. So you're going to realize that you are the solution that the world is looking for. Your gifts, your abilities, your skills. When you can look at yourself to understand that there is something that you have that everybody needs. And when you begin to look at yourself as a dynamo, there is certain elements of who your person is. There are because you represent a every other individual that is out there. As a human being, you are a nucleus of every other individual that is in the marketplace. And when you look at yourself to discover that you are what we call a corporate individual, there are so many segments to who you are as a person, that when you design a strategy in terms of how do you package yourself, in one of our conversations, we looked at the realization that every situation, everything in our environment is a representation of someone's thought. Everything in your environment is a representation of somebody packaging who they are as a solution and presenting it in the marketplace. What developed out of that is actually individuals planning, creating a strategy of how they were going to redesign what they have to present to the marketplace and then distributing it. So we ask individuals to look at yourself differently. What do you have in your hands that is so unique that somebody else needed to solve their problem? And you create that. That's where the plan starts, because you have something that every individual, that there is a space in the market that somebody needs to know what you know. And how do you plan? How do you begin to create that design? How do you begin to look at the place where you are going to put your problem, the problem that you are designed to solve in the marketplace? It requires, and we look at 4 levels at which you are going to create those plans, starting with yourself as a in your personal life master plan, looking at that you are serving a community of people, which those who are around you, creating a family life master plan, your your master plan, and at a corporate level. So as you begin to look at yourself as an individual of value, and you begin to strategize how you're going to distribute what you have, we ask individuals, what we do create is we have a 50-question program that we assist individuals to just evaluate what you have, and create such a program on who you are and how you can present those that the solution that you have. You become a living dynamo.
All right, Peter. Thanks for that share. What I will do, I will continue to add some new information. And now I want to look at how to create multiple streams of income. Now, as a rising star in business who wants the cash flow, a question that I am asked all the time is, what is the fastest way to cash flow your business? And I want to say from research, what we have seen, influencers are able to command attention, pique interest, arouse desire, move that client into action, make impact, and optimize cash flow. So one of the first things I want to recommend to you when you want a cash flow is you want to position yourself to become an influencer. All right. It has tremendous benefits when you're building a personal brand or when you're building your corporate brand. The reason you want to be an influencer is that people identifies with you. People know you, people like you, people trust you, people invest with people that they know, like, and trust. So this is something you want to invest in to become an influencer. It's going to bring down barriers and it's going to create open opportunities for you to be positioned to cash flow and cash flow fast. So when you come to the cash flow incubator, we not only say to you, become an influencer, we work with you for you to become a global influencer. And we give you a step-by-step approach that you can use to become that influencer. The next concept that I want to table to you, you want us to spend some time understanding Shopify and to develop your Shopify storefront. Now, why Shopify makes a lot of sense? Because when you set up your Shopify storefront, you can do this with minimal cost. But Shopify really enables you to display your products and to display your services. And as an influencer, you can now drive traffic to that platform. And that in itself will put you in a position of strength to cash flow. All right. And we will go deeper into this in the cash flow incubator. If you have a business, what is a product or a service, and you're not using Shopify, I want to say that you're doing yourself a disservice. If you need help to set up these things that we're talking about, just reach out to us. You need access to capital, reach out to us. You need access to position yourself to become an influencer, reach out to us. You need your Shopify storefront, reach out to us. The biggest business across the world today, they are using these platforms to drive traffic, to drive sales, to increase their disposable income. And if you're in business and you are not using these modern approaches to help your business to optimize its cash flow, there lies a challenge. With us, we identify the problems, but we also put the solutions to you. The next concept that I want you to look at when you want to cash flow like a pro, and what you will learn when you come to the cash flow incubator, I want you to think about affiliate marketing. And affiliate marketing, all it does, it creates additional opportunities for you to generate income. And I know Paul has a beautiful program, and he will be talking just now about the BFC, which is the Business Finance Consultant, and you can become an affiliate partner. As an affiliate partner, all you're doing is connecting with people that need money, connecting with people that need business support, and you're pointing them in the right direction. And by simply doing that, you are able to make a decent living. You're able to earn massive amount of income. You can earn a 6 or 7 figure income annually. And of course, I'm talking about US dollars here. So if you're a rising star in business, right? If you're an influencer, you can leverage all of these opportunities to benefit financially. And the mission of what we are doing here is to really provide you with a content of information that will help you to win and win consistently and win big financially. The last concept that I'm going to talk about now, before coming back to Paul, is what I call drop shipping. Now, what is drop shipping? Everything that I've talked about early on, it could be very much like drop shipping. For example, on your Shopify storefront, you may have products and services. It could be the biggest flat screen TV. It could be the modern refrigerators. It could be, you know, six piece, off set for your sitting room set. It could be office outfit. These are physical items, and you might be asking yourself, if I have this on my storefront, do I have to deliver them to the end user? And the answer to that is no. And that's what drop shipping is. You are attaching these institutions. It could be the biggest institution. It could be Walmart. It could be Target. It could be TeamU. It could be companies from across the world that you are representing. And all you are doing is advertising that content, building out your storefront, because you have partnership with some of these big institutions. And when person click on that link and make the purchase, because the visibility is coming from your platform, you get paid. This is a no-brainer, because you can be at home in your sitting room with your family, your friends. You could be asleep. You can be in Timbuktu, and the system is working for you, and you're generating income after income, and you're making a massive amount of money when you set these platforms up and properly. So we will go deeper into all of this when we start to go into the cash flow incubator, because the cash flow incubator is really an incubator that is going to be showing you smart and creative ways to cash flow. Paul may go deeper into helping you to understand how to cash flow through real estate, because he's going to talk to you how to access capital. He just spoke to you about that. And he's going to talk to you perhaps how to leverage those capital into income producing asset. That's another way in which you can cash flow. All right. But the last thing that we want people to do is to sit at home and feel hopeless, because I do believe that poverty is a state of mind, and wealth creation is also a state of mind. What we are doing here with these programs is helping you to develop a solution driven mindset, helping you to understand that you too can build wealth. And along with putting you on the pathway, along with giving you the ideas as to what you can do, we have that ecosystem built out to give you the support that you need to achieve your objective. We're going that far. You know, there's a saying that you can take the camel to the well, but you can't force the camel to drink the water. What we are doing, we are taking you to the well. And because we care for you so much, we're prepared to dip that water and feed you that water to ensure that you win in business and you win in wealth creation. And that's how passionate we are about people and about empowering people to come into their greatness. So I'm going to pause here now. When I come back, I will talk about how to cash flow with no money down. And further, when I come back, I'll turn all to you now.
Okay. Business finance consultant. That's what I am. And that's what you would like to be. Then we would like to teach you how to do it. Okay. What we want to do, we want to hire 100 business finance consultants. And your role in that would be to locate business owners who need money for equipment, need money for real estate financing, have cash flow problems. That can be solved with factoring. All of these there's more: sale leaseback, purchase order financing, capital raising. But we'll go into detail step by step. The first step would be equipment financing. That would be our direct focus. Once you become an expert in that, we can move to real estate financing. But why would you want to do this? Well, it is a new year. Yeah, we're 4 months in, 3 months, 3.5. But it's a new year, new career. Are you happy where you're at? If you are, I'm very happy for you. If you're not, well, then we want to get you to be happy where you're at, and we think you'd be happy with us. Okay, you're providing a service, a valuable service, and it's a high-paying career. Is it hourly? Do you get a paycheck at the end of every week? If you close 4 deals a month, you do. And that's the difference between owning a business and working hourly. There's nothing wrong with working hourly. We've all done it. I've done it. It's, it's a thing. But would you like to make a lot of money? A lot? Because if you make 30 bucks an hour, 40 hours, that's 1,200 minus taxes, 900 times 52, $46,800. It's not a lot, especially with today. So high paying career. It's better to work on points and percentages and pick up chunks of money than it is to work hourly. You could work hourly and do this. You don't have to quit your hourly job. You can do both. Matter of fact, I would suggest that you do both until you transition into being such an expert and closing so many deals that you recognize you don't need to do that for the other thing for 40 hours a week. So how are we going to get you to that point? Full training, full support. What does full support look like? Well, you're brand new out of training. You still really don't know what's going on. You've just been trained with the academic version of it. Now you need the real life version of it. You get the customers, and we're going to teach you how to do that. There's LinkedIn. There's sending messages on LinkedIn. There's advertising. There's phone calls, the old-fashioned way. Pick up the phone, call 50 people a day, tell them what you do. You're going to get somebody that way. And yeah, it ain't easy. I'm not telling you it's easy, but I'm telling you it's worth it. So full support means you get that customer. I will get on the phone with you. You can listen to me go through the process, explain everything, close the deal, and we're going to teach you how to close. We're going to teach you how to prospect. We're going to teach you how to engage. We're going to teach you how to negotiate. We're going to teach you to be a subject matter expert and be able to fully explain a subject to a person. And the subject would be financing for their business. Fully explain it. But that's going to take a little while. Not a long time, not years, not a year. I mean, that's up to you how long it takes. You got to put effort into it too, through self-study and through a lot of stuff, okay? Through self-thought, reflecting while you're sitting there at night. How am I going to do this? But rest assured, you can do it. And I know you can do it because I'm doing it. And if I can do it, I know that you can do it. And I know that I can teach you to do it. That sounds like a word jumble, you guys. Peter stole my word earlier. I was going to end it up with saying, and you'll be a living dynamo. But Peter beat me to the punch about 10 minutes ago. Thanks, Peter. All right. So business finance consultants, Paul at patriotbfc.com. Let's make a lot of money together. Right there, Global Capital Fund Ltd at gmail.com. Email both of us, set an appointment so we can talk to you about this. And let me leave you with this. How much money can you make? Well, we don't make $500 a deal. That's for sure. And let me give you an example. $150,000 semi-truck. If we charge 5 points on that, that's $7,500. 25% of yours is to you. How much is that in math? $1,875. How many times can you do that a month? How many times can you do that per year? And that's one deal on a $150,000 piece of equipment. Equipment's expensive. You will come across big deals. You'll come across things that you never thought that you'd come across if you try. You can come across $1 million. Yeah, $1 million. $1 million is small these days, by the way. You know it is, especially for equipment.
Mhm.
I mean, $1 million is nothing. Millionaires aren't what they used to be. All right. But let's just say a $500,000 piece of equipment. 4 points on that. That's $20,000. You can collect $5,000. So your commissions, they could be, maybe it'll be maybe one will be $1,000. Maybe the next one will be $5,000. It's limitless. Find medium-sized companies that you can work with. Find the biggest companies that you can work with. They all need capital, and you can provide that for them. We can provide it for them together. So get a hold of us, and back to you, Gary. You're a living dynamo, Peter.
Um, Paul, I want to come alongside you to say a couple of things because I really want the public to understand the benefit that lies before them. When you become a BFC, a business finance consultant, it is literally transformational. But let me say this before I go into some of the things that they will learn. You see, thinking small will allow you to win small. Thinking big will position you to win big. And a large part of what we're going to be doing at the BFC is to train you to become a big thinker. So there are four important concepts that we will work with you on. We will work with you on your communication skills, on your sales and marketing skills, on your leadership skills, and on your negotiation skills. Why? Why are these things so important? We have done the analysis, and what we have seen is that the people that communicate the most with the right people, they have relationships with the right people. They have great ideas. They know how to position those ideas in front of the right people. They know how to negotiate and to win. So when Paul said that he's going to equip you with training and information, all of this we will unpack for you. So you become a better communicator. All right. You become a better sales expert. You understand now what is the push factors of sales, what is the pull factors of sales. You know how to command attention, pique interest. You understand all of this. But then you understand how to lead, all right, how to inspire, how to motivate. You understand how to negotiate because negotiation is not one side win all the time. You can create win-win situations. And that's what I love about the BFC program. It's going to really help you to retool the way you're thinking and position you to achieve greatness, financial greatness in your lifetime. My last word here, if you think small when you come to us, you're going to get small wins. But when you learn how to think big, and that's what we're going to be focusing on, that's what we're going to be training you on, how to become a big thinker. So you can now go out there and you can win big. Peter, all to you.
Yeah, human growth. Human growth. What is human growth? Even at an individual level, is that every individual, I like to make things memorable. So what I do say is that every individual has a story to be told, right? Just remember that every individual has a story to be told. Every individual has a character to be molded. So you have a story, and within that story, you are that character that you are going to mold and develop, and you are the representative of every other individual that is out there. We're talking about the cash flow incubator, and I'm coming from the standpoint of one of the mentors that I had several years ago, a gentleman by the name of Joe Polish. And Joe Polish got into finding his niche in the marketplace in a very unique way because he began to sell his product and his service to the wider audience, uh, seeking for customers from the end user of his products and his services. But then when he did an analysis of the feedback that he was getting, he realized that it was not the end user of his audience that were gravitating to his products and his service that he was putting in the marketplace, but was other cleaners. He was a cleaner. He cleans offices and homes, and he realized that the persons that were listening to him were other cleaners. So he shifted his focus from the general audience and he became a consultant to other individuals like himself, and that became his direct market. So every individual, you have a character, because you're a prototype of the person that is looking for your services, because you are the first person. The problem that one way by which you can enter into that or get out of that incubator is to realize that you are oftentimes the best customer, because you discover something that has solved your problem. And so there are others like you that need that problem as well. That's a starting place. You have spent the time, looking at a solution, and you discover something that works for you. So everyone has a story, as I mentioned, to be told. What is your story that has become the revolutionary program, service, solution in your life? That's your story. And what is that character that surrounds that story, which goes back to how you came to be that person? What is the backstory that has brought you to be who you are today? Now, which will now go into the solution. So everybody now has a solution to be sold. Everyone has a solution to be sold. Now, one of the ways by which we look at how you can enter into that cash flow is that solution that you now have that came out of your story and your character. Now you have and you have friends and family. Gary mentioned it earlier about affiliate marketing. Affiliate marketing is that you take somebody else's product. You didn't develop that product or that service, but you are the one now who is presenting it into the marketplace. Well, you can do the same thing by attracting representatives and affiliates to yourself, starting with your close friends and family, those who love you, those who you tested your story and your character with. That solution that you presented, they were the ones who were patting you on the shoulder, and they were the ones who were saying to you that, hey, this is good. This is something that they enjoy. They were the ones who supported you. They were your first customers. Now you can ask your first customers to says, okay, then can you now take this solution and let them now tell their friends and their family, and you're cash flowing, you are incubating, you are developing, and now you make a promise that these individuals, you give them something that it will worthwhile for them to speak on your behalf. You are cash flowing, you are getting out of the incubator. And all of this, yes, you're going to plan the details out of it, because you're going to take the time out to do the measurement. You're going to take the time out to look at, if you were the one who was somebody's asking you to do what you are asking them to do, what will be the reward? What will be rewarding? What will get you out of bed in the morning that will cause you to represent even the same product that you're asking, and then offer the same the same benefits to those who are representing you. And in so doing, you are now cash cash flowing because now you have individuals, your same relationships around you who are speaking on your behalf, and you can build an empire just out of that simple process.
All right, great share. I want to pause a bit and just express some gratitude. Over the last 2 months, we have been building up our social media platform. And I want to say a big shout out to over 30,000 persons who have been supportive of this platform. I want to thank you for taking the time for looking at the program. I want to thank you for taking the time to not only subscribing, I want you to thank you for taking the time to listen to the content and giving feedback. Over the last few weeks, we have many hundreds of persons who have been in the chat and you have been given feedback on the content. And largely based on the fact that we know you're enjoying the content, we will bring much, much more of these content to you to keep pointing you in the right direction. I know that the 30,000 that has subscribed so far, it's only represent a small fraction of those who have been viewing the content. Those who are viewing and not yet subscribing, I also want to encourage you to stop sitting on the fence and do subscribe, because it helps the channel to grow. And my promise to you is that put in the chat some of the content that you want us to talk about. And once you're in business, once it's aligned with business and access to capital and leadership, project management, put those questions out there and we will develop specialized programs to inform your appetite. So I want to thank you for that. I now want to move on and I want to give some additional information before coming across to Paul. I now want to talk about how to cash flow with no money down. Now, in the great book, we learned that a lack of knowledge of people shall perish. Our role is to ensure that our community, they're distant from lack of information and lack of knowledge. So we want to give you information. So we do a lot of research to ensure that these programs are designed to be beneficial to you. Now, one of the ways in which you could position yourself to cash flow with no money down is to learn things like what is vendor credit and what is store credit. In developed economies like the United States of America, you can walk into a store and or perhaps you can get on the phone and you can establish a line of credit. Now, remember the program. In starting the program, I begin to walk you through a number of things that you need to look at. You need to also have your SSN, which is your social security number. And once you have some of these basic things in place, there are many institutions, they will open a line of credit for you. They may open the net 30, the net 60, or the net 90 for you. Now, what this means, it means now that you can purchase anything in that store and have 30, 60, or 90 days to pay. That presents you with an opportunity that if you know someone that wants to purchase products or services, you can leverage your line of credit, put a markup on it, and there's where you're cash flowing. Several things can happen here. The net 30, 60, and 90, which is available to you, you don't have to transfer that to the potential buyer because they're paying you cash. So they pay you cash and you have those upfront money in your hand, but then you have 30, 60, or 90 days to pay. When you understand smart ways to invest that capital, that fund in your hands, let us say you have $1,000 by 100 persons, that's a whole lot of cash that you can now invest back into some income producing asset. So I'm giving you some high level overview here, But of course, when you come into the cash flow incubator, we will refine these concepts for you and really show you major hacks that you can deploy to position yourself to cash flow. So you have the vendor credit and you have the store credit. The store credit has all the features like the vendor credit, but it also allows you to spend those funding outside of the particular vendor that will open up that line of credit for you. I'm saying to you, life don't have to be so tough on you. Life don't have to be so challenging. You need to expose yourself to the right information, and the right information can transform your life. And this again is why myself and Paul Peter we would emphasize a lot. In our platform of learning, you will learn about the importance of effective communication. You will learn about the effectiveness in sales communication and how to sell money and how to sell yourself as a personal brand and how to build your business and sell the corporate brand. You will learn about what is leadership and what is negotiation skills, how to leverage all of this to position yourself to win and to win big. So I'm going to pause here now and I'm going to come to Paul to ask him to talk to us a little bit more about financial instrument. And when I come back, I will give some closing remarks, but then I will talk about how to access credit at 0% APR. That should be music to your ears. You see how much information we give and it's free. These programs, what we do, we charge thousands of dollars for beneficiaries to get this knowledge. We're giving it to you free. As Peter said, it's not all about the money. Sometimes it makes a lot of sense to serve humanity and ensure that you have information so you can better your life. So when you come into the cash flow incubator, you will learn so much more. And I want to encourage you. I'm going to put a website up so you can go there and you can learn some more about what we're doing. And so you can get in touch with us and position yourself for greatness. I now turn to Paul. Paul, all to you.
Wait a minute. We're not charging thousands of dollars for this?
No, we're not. We're
What?
giving it all away, man.
What?
Christmas
All
in
right.
March.
All right. All right.
Christmas in March.
Well, financial programs, financing for business, it's designed to start businesses, to grow businesses, to assist with cash flow, to increase profitability and efficiency. I got all that. I could go deep into one subject. I could tell or broadly tell you about them all. But if you've watched this show, you know what we do already. And if you don't know, if you haven't watched it, this is your first time, here it is. Equipment financing. How do we get that done? We have a network of lenders who want to say yes. Why would you work with me and Gary and Peter and a network of lenders instead of going to your bank? Because your bank doesn't care about you. It doesn't matter if you've been there for 30 years. If your credit score drops below a certain mark, they're going to say no. And they're only going to tell you what they have. They're not going to tell you that it's less expensive down the road. You would want them to tell you that, right? Well, we can tell you that because our network of lenders, updated rate sheets every week. We know who does what. We know who likes what deals the most. Here's an example. If you're in the construction industry or trucking, well, we've got one lender who only does that industry. We have other lenders for equipment who will touch any industry as long as the deal makes sense. Okay. Real estate, factoring, purchase order financing. That's what we've got available to you. And you can be approved. Excellent credit, lowest cost of money, difficult credit. We can get you approved with money down. Okay. All that ties into the point of the show right now today, cash flow. What is cash flow really? I mean, it should be obvious cash is flowing, but there's personal cash flow, there's business cash flow. If you have a dead end job, you're not making enough, or you're working 2 jobs or 3 jobs, keep one so you can keep cash flow moving into your household so you can keep the household moving. Replace that a second dead end job with a high paying sales career. You don't think you can sell? Yes, you can. Stop it. You don't think you can? Stop not thinking that you can, because you can. All right. Examples. Well, we just gave one: business finance consultants, high paying. We want to work with you. If that's not for you, it should be. Please join us. It's worth it. It's worth it. Let me stress that again. It's worth it. But let's say not. So, how do you get more cash flow? Well, go sell cars. Seriously. Seriously. You think that's beneath you? Car salesmen are bad? They're not. They're people. And guess what? They make a lot of money. Okay. Not all of them do, but the good ones do. So become good at it. That increases your personal cash flow into your household. Another way to do it is start a business, buy an existing business. How does cash flow relate to businesses? There are some businesses that you can start that are not going to cash flow for. You're a manufacturer, you start a manufacturing company. You're going to manufacture the product, you're going to ship it to your buyers, and you're going to wait 30 days, maybe 40, maybe 45, maybe more to get that payment. That's not an immediate cash flowing business. And to start that, you need to go into it with operating expenses on the side and cash reserves. What's an example of a business that immediately cash flows? Gary named a couple of them earlier. Affiliate marketing. Well, it's not going to immediately cash flow. You're going to get your website set up, you're going to get your links out, but it's not going to happen automatically without your participation. How do you participate? You got to learn how to do that SEO. You got to learn how to get it out there so people actually click those links and buy. Then it will start cash flowing. What's an example of an immediate cash flowing business? You buy a pizza shop. If it's a strong pizza shop, you'll have $2,500 in the cash register at the end of the day or more, right? That's an example of a business that cash flows immediately. Of course, you can't spend that whole $25 on that first day in business. You got to save it because you got bills at the end of the month, but you've got cash flow to work with right there. Some businesses cash flow immediately. Some don't cash flow immediately, and it takes months for cash flow to happen. I'm not saying years. I'm not saying 6 months. I'm talking, till you get your invoices paid. All right. And we can help you with that with a program called factoring. You've probably heard it before. I'm not going to go into it now, but that's something that can help with to help quicken your cash flow and make it tighter. There's a lot of other businesses. Gary mentioned several of them that can cash flow very quickly. But man, if you don't have cash flow, you have problems because your business will not exist. It'll starve, it'll die, and it's done for. And you can't bring it back to life. You just have to go do another one. But if that happens to you, I guess learn the lesson, move on, and do it again. Don't give up, because most wealthy people have failed a lot of times. I think the statistics are on your seventh business is when you make it. So yeah, cash flow is important. Let us help you make it happen. Cash flow with us. Be a business finance consultant. Or if you got a business right now and you need help to get it to cash flow, get a hold of Gary, get a hold of Peter, form the master plan with Peter, get a hold of Gary, get a hold of me. I can help with cash injection. Back to you, Gary. You're on mute.
Yeah, great share, my friend. Great share. And what I like about our community, the business bootcamp, is that this is a one-stop shop, because regardless of the stage that you are in business, we can help you. So whether you're thinking that, hey, I need $100,000, or I need $10 million or $50 million US dollars to grow and scale my business, right here we can help you with all of that. You might need support to collect market intelligence. You want market research. You want support to collect and analyze and leverage and mitigate market intelligence. You can get all of that here. You want a project management support, we can help you with all of that. So this is definitely a one-stop shop for rising stars in business, or those who want to grow and expand in business. As promised, I want to talk a little bit now about how to leverage um, credit cards. Now, one of the things that I see a lot of people do, and I know this because a lot of persons use their FICO, they use their FICO to get access personal line of credit, and then when they put that personal line of credit into the business is not cash flowing fast enough for them to offset the debt. So then they get a derogatory. Then their credit score is hit. And many financial institutions don't want to do business with them. So what we do is really work with you to really help you to understand financial instruments. And we have a number of partners. They help you to access personal line of credit and business line of credit. And they also help you to access credit at 0% APR. Now, I had to use some of those instruments to make sure what I'm hearing was true. Because sometimes when you hear, hey, you can access money and you have no interest to pay for 6 months or a year, it sounds so unbelievable. So I started to use some of them, and then I recognized they were real. So I can now share that knowledge and that experience with you. So there are some of these portfolios that are set up all across America, but you need to know the market. You need to know the players. You need to connect with the players. And what we do is really help you to connect with those players. And I'm saying this against the backdrop. Paul said it. Not everyone that comes to him is going to be approved for funding right away, because you may have to work on historical financial data. You might got good credit, but then you don't have the history, you don't have the track record. But there's some financial institution, what they want is good credit. Now, once you have 680 and above, we can get you access to funding at 0% APR. Um, and that is an option that you have as you position yourself to cash flow. All right, as you get into the cash flow incubator, these are all things that we will be going deeper and deeper and deeper, and really ensure that you have that blueprint that you can use to move yourself to that next level of success. I want to emphasize this. On our program, we talk a lot about rising stars, really taking the time to understand financial instruments. And it's not just to understand all the instruments that Paul will talk about. Paul is an expert. He's a BFC, has been doing this for quite a number of years. And that is part of the body of knowledge that you need to understand financial instruments. But like Paul, you need to understand how to access those instruments. Like Paul, you need to understand smart ways to leverage those capital. Like Paul and our team, you need to understand how to mitigate capital. Because if you don't understand this ecosystem, you're not just leaving crumbs on the table when it comes to making money. Perhaps you're leaving half of the cake, half of the pie. All right. And that's something that you don't want to do. So the reason we have formed this community is really to sit with you, talk with you, get to understand where you are in business, and is to put our brains to work, our knowledge and experience to work, to ensure that it's bringing benefit to you. We don't want to do this unless it's bringing benefit to you. We would not have been here unless we know that what we are doing, we are fixing a problem. We have spent years studying the challenges that businesses are going through. We know your pain points. We know where you're hurting. We know where you're hemorrhaging. And because we know this, when we get together, we discuss those challenges that we know businesses are facing. And then we say, these are some of the practical solutions. So you don't even have to think about the solution. We know the solution. So when you come to us, we know your pain point. We know your solution. We know exactly what steps to take to give you the right support that you need. You would have heard Paul very often on this platform. He would say that not all financial instruments may be for you. You need to know the best financial instruments for you. He talked about factoring. He talked about leasing. He said sometimes it's not the best thing is not to buy cash, but it's to lease. So he go into all of this to ensure that you have information that will help you to make informed and educated business decision. So I'm going to pause here for now, and I'm going to go around the room for colleagues to give their closing remarks as we wrap up on today's program. I'm going to start with Peter.
Yeah. So plan with that. Um, encourage individuals to plan your price and your profit. Plan your price and your profit. And what I mean by that is you have a good solution to the market. You have found something that the market needs, and you have to, that's where it starts. Because if you have something that is not market worthy, then no matter how much marketing you put it in, no matter how much advertisement you put in, people buy it one time and they will not want it a second time. So the number one solution is that you have something that is just when somebody receive it, they just love it, and it is adding value to their lives. Once you have that, then you got to plan your price and your profit. Take time out to look on what your life is all about, and how your price is going to add value to your life. If you're going to take time out to develop this service and to present it in the marketplace, it is costing you your time. It is costing your energy. You have bills to pay. You have, what is it costing you to live? What is it costing you to exist? What is it costing your family to have the kind of lifestyle that make you feel worthwhile as a product provider? What does it cost you? And take into consideration as well how long you have been in this journey to get out of the incubator, so that now you are that living, as we mentioned, dynamo. No longer are you depending on a system that is causing you are dependent on the system, but now you are out there, you are now alive. Now what is it going to cost? What has it cost you to do that? Now you want to add your profit on that. What is it? And Paul often speak about, when you have profit, then you are able to expand. If you do not have profit, you can't expand, because you're just, providing at cost. If you're providing at cost, you're not going to be it. You do not really have a business. Maybe you are a non-profit organization, but you're not really in business if you do not have a profit. So now you got to put profit on what it's costing you to deliver your goods and your service. And here is something that Gary mentioned earlier as well about being able to, when you have affiliates, and I missed my line of thought, but is um, providing credit. That's the point I want to get to. So you want to, once you have a product or a service that is valuable, you can charge a premium price for that service or that product, and then you can offer a line of credit. Now you can be the one now who is offering a line of credit where you give individuals terms to pay over time. Remember, you have a good product, you have a good service that is valuable, that is impacting and changing people's lives. Now you have a right, because you are the one that spend the time to produce that, and you have the service. You're going to make sure that you add the service good, and for you to really give people good quality and service, you have to pay for the good quality of service that you're going to give to people. So in that case, then you have to charge enough that when you sit with somebody, the best of you are coming forward to serve the individual in the highest level. So you have to place a premium price, and then you can offer a line of credit, just as how you would go to those institutions or those businesses, and you would receive a line of credit. Now you can be the one who is now offering that line of credit for your customers. Now they may not be able to afford it in one sum, but they love your service, so you can offer them in time. Over time they can pay in installments. They are satisfied and you are satisfied, and the marketplace, humanity, is becoming better.
Peter, you made a very, very valid point. I love the concept that even the business now can offer a line of credit. And again, this is the reason why I emphasize relationship, communication, sales, negotiation, leadership, because when you combine this together, you may have a business, but then you have the ability to communicate. You have the ability to lead and negotiate. You're now negotiating with financial institutions. So when you give your client a 30, 60, or 90-day line of credit, guess what? The financial institutions, because you have that relationship with you, they pay you upfront. But the client benefits from that delay payment arrangement. And these are systems that are already established. They're out there. All right. So if you're a business owner and you need these type of support, I encourage you to reach out to us, because we have relationship with financial institutions, and we may be able to leverage some of this once your business makes a whole lot of sense, and to ensure that we can help you negotiate for some of these possibilities. So that's a very, very strong point that you have raised there, Peter. I now want to come to Paul for your closing thoughts on what we have looked at today. All to you, Paul.
Okay, my closing thoughts on this very important subject are cash flow is important. Back to you, Gary.
That's a short and sweet. No, go ahead, Paul.
Well, that wraps it up. That wraps it up. That's it. There's not much more to that.
Cash
The
flow is
only
king,
Cash flow is
One of my
king.
book, yeah, one of my book, I put it at the front there, cash flow is king. Paul, I want to say a couple of things on that point. I think that many rising stars in business get into business with this falsified notion that cash flow is automatic. It's not.
no.
You have to be visible, and to be visible, you have to have investment capital behind you. Some people also walk away with a falsified notion that is the cheapest way to become visible is social media. Being visible there is not cheap. And with saying that, I want to thank my team of digital marketing specialists who are behind the visibility of my brand. And they have been the ones who are driving our content in front of over 100,000 persons. So just putting your content out there, it's only 1%, 0.1% of the, who are using those platforms may be lucky to get visible without spending. For the rest of us, it requires capital to generate money, to be visible, to break through that know, like, and trust. So short statement that you made, but they're Paul, but it's very, very profound. With that being said, I want to thank the audience who are viewing the program from across the world. I want to thank those who will be listening to the rebroadcast, the replay. I want to encourage you to continue to like, subscribe, and share so you will be the first to get these content that we're bringing to you on a regular basis. Remember, in the event that you're in business and you need any form of business support, from access to capital to market research, developing your master plan, supporting project development and project management, feel free to reach out to us. All right. And we'll be happy to help you. All right. The best way we can. I also want to thank my team, Peter, for always, coming out here and giving his perspective. Paul, who's always here. We can be doing 1,001 other things, but we have made the decision that we put aside this time to give service to humanity. And this is our little pebble that we are trusting will create that ripple effect of hope in people's lives, that some of the dreams and hopes and aspirations that they have, it can manifest. So feel free to reach out to us. We're always here to give support, and we live to give service. So with that being said, I want to thank my team. I want to thank you for being here today. See you guys on Monday at 7 a.m. EST.